Yeah, I am so sorry it's taking so long, but it'll be with you very soon. Yep, thank you for your patience. Just want to say I'm so sorry. Things have been a little hectic work-wise, but I will get that to you by end of day. Hi, yeah, I'm just returning your call. Listen, you will have it by end of day, I promise. Once again, sorry for the delay. I cannot keep doing this by myself. I need a team.
2024 is here, and something big is happening right now. There is currently a very specific set of conditions that allows anyone to use their phones to start making money online, even with zero prior experience. So I'm gonna show you the 6 exact steps you need to start making $10,000 per month online from your phone. Now, before you delve into everything you need to know, you first need to be aware of the 3 most common beginner mistakes that really prevent them from succeeding. Now, the first one is getting into a failing market. And let me explain what that means. It means that there needs to be a market that allows you to make money. And the way to find a market that allows for that is to analyze the world around you. I mean, really look at what's happening. Where is the money flowing? What are people paying for? What do businesses need? Those are all questions that you should be asking yourself. For example, if you wanted to start a company that sells landlines, you could have the best phones ever and the best prices, but you would never succeed. Why? Because quite frankly, it is a failing market. So it doesn't matter how good your business is if the market that it's in is failing. But the opposite thinking is also true. Sometimes you can have a terrible business that does exceptionally well because of a boom in a certain market. And that's really what happened in the dot-com bubble before it burst. Lots of terrible businesses made lots of money. Now, that's not a place that you want to be. You want to avoid boom and bust and rather focus on markets that are growing steadily. In reality, you want to avoid the hype. So that's why choosing the market you're going to operate in is so important. And choosing the wrong one is the single biggest mistake that beginners make. Now, the second biggest mistake that beginners make is not factoring in luck. You see, you've been lied to. There is one thing that virtually no self-made millionaires are willing to admit. Why? Most of the time, I think it comes down to ego. Now, I don't mean luck in the conventional sense. In fact, the whole idea of luck is misunderstood. I mean, sure, there's blind luck, the kind that you simply cannot control, but you can't predict that. And if you can't predict it, then you can't rely on it. But that's not the kind of luck that I'm talking about. What I'm referring to is putting yourself in a position to get lucky. So how do you do that? And why does nobody else tell you how to do that? It's quite simple. Every single self-made millionaire, they want to take full credit for their success. They want to prop up their ego. But I will be the first to tell you that without luck, I would not be where I am today. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't admit that some of that wasn't pure blind luck, but another large part of it wasn't. You see, there is a way for you to cultivate your own luck, and everyone is too afraid to tell you how. So, how do you do it? Well, it's not actually that difficult. It really comes down to a 2-step process. You see, once you've chosen the right market to operate in, you've already done half the work to attract luck. Now all you need to do is act. Because if you don't, how are you ever going to be successful? Or even lucky? I mean, how could you be lucky if you don't do anything that luck can help you with? So what do I even mean by luck? I'm sure you've heard it before, but luck is where preparation meets timing. And the emphasis is on timing. And that means that there's a finite window for you to execute that preparation. And as it were, now is one of those times. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the opportunity is gonna end tomorrow, because it won't. But the extent in which you can win will also slowly diminish as more people claim their own luck. Now, the third biggest mistake beginners make is closely related to the first. And it's simply not enough to spot the right market. You also need to have the right vehicle. And what I mean by that is that when you're a complete beginner, you need a vehicle that allows you to make mistakes. Because let's face it, mistakes are inevitable when you're starting your journey to $10,000 per month online. So you need to choose a vehicle that allows for that to happen. And that is what makes drop servicing so powerful. Now, if you don't remember from the last episode, drop serving is essentially making money off of connecting businesses to service providers and taking a cut in the middle. What do you need to avoid then? Well, you need to avoid a business that requires a lot of upfront investment. Now, every business requires investment in order to succeed, but not every business requires that investment to be monetary. You see, when you're a beginner, you don't have a lot of money to invest, but you do have a lot of attention. And that's why drop servicing is so perfect. And that's also why you should avoid business models like dropshipping, Amazon FBA, or info products when you're just starting out. Now, am I saying that these are bad business models? Not at all. But they simply have a higher financial threshold for success, which means that they are better suited for someone who either has money to invest or experience. Now, drop servicing isn't anything revolutionary. Its premise has existed forever. And it's not just in the online world. I mean, think about it. The big winners in today's economy aren't the ones who have the final product. It's those who are savvy enough to connect the final product with the end user and then charge for it. For example, think about it this way. Expedia doesn't have any planes or hotels. They just make it easy for people who want to travel to find and book flights and hotels. And guess what? They often make more net profit than the hotels and the airlines that they partner with. And Uber's the same deal. They don't own any cars or hire drivers full time. They're just the go-between for people who need a ride and those willing to give one. And it is a very similar story with Airbnb and houses, or Alibaba without warehouses, or even TikTok, which is all about user-generated content, not their own. These companies are masters of finding what people need and connecting them to those who have it, all while putting their own brand on it and marking up the price. And what these companies engage in is essentially the same when we talk about drop servicing. And that begs the question, now that you know what the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid are, what should you actually do to get started? Well, let me tell you the exact step-by-step formula that I use to scale to $10,000 a month and that thousands of others just like you have as well.
Why do you want to join the company? Why don't you just go out and start your own company?
I followed your history and how you built this agency, and I really respect what you have done. And
So I've been working on some project, but I kind of feel like I have more things to learn.
it would be a wonderful experience for me to team up and be a part.
And sometimes I feel lonely to doing all by myself.
Working with you, working with your partners, I think that there's a lot of value in this agency already.
What's your favorite kind of client to work with?
I was helping the local restaurants. I wanted to practice my, studying, in a more practical way.
I know most people enjoy bigger clients like Samsung or Apple, tech companies. But for me personally, I really like the smaller guys, the mom and pop shops, the people who have passion.
I see them in person, how they grow up and how their sales is developing.
Working with them, getting them more customers, more clients, helping them grow, and it just helps me.
Well, after all things considered, my final question is, when can you start?
Today, too soon?
All right. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, before starting your drop servicing journey, you need to know what the levels are so that you know where you're headed. The first level is simply being an intermediary. Here, you make money off connecting the service providers with the companies that need them. You are simply matching supply and demand, and with this model, you can very easily scale to $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Now, the next level is an agency. And here you're doing the exact same thing as in level 1, but you bring on the service provider under your agency brand. And that's how you get to $10,000 to $30,000 a month. Now, the step above that is simply a matter of scale. You need to rinse and repeat the process and find better and better clients. The only thing that will get you to this point is simply time. It's a process. But once you're there, you can expect to be making from $30,000 to $50,000 a month. Now, the final level is what I like to call the growth partner stage. And at this point, you work closely with a select few clients and get a percentage of the money that you bring them. Now, this is by far the most advanced stage, but also the most rewarding. Do it right and you can scale to multiple 7 figures per year. Now, the next step is very simple. Just choose a name for your agency. Now, once you have the name, buy the domain and set up your business email. And that means that your email should be your name at yourbusinessname.com. No Gmail, no Hotmail, that won't cut it. And that is the only startup cost that you'll need. Frankly, you won't even need a website. I didn't even personally have one until I was making $20,000 a month. So don't waste time on this step. Simply get it done. Now, the next step is to choose your service. And we know that in the attention economy, the key is for you to generate attention. That is what will get you paid, because that's what gets the businesses that you work with paid. So how can you generate attention? And how can you frame your service so that you can make the most amount of money? Well, you need to show a clear return on investment. If you make it clear that if the business pays you $2,000, they'll make $10,000, it's very easy for them to make that decision. And that is why we choose to provide them with online marketing services, because it's extremely easy to track the return on investment that they generate for the clients. And that also makes it super easy to sell. And that's because of the opportunity that the attention economy has created. You see, when I first began, I had to convince businesses that they needed my service. Today, they already know they need it. And not only that, but they're actively looking to pay top dollar for people who can provide them with these services. So, what are some different services that you can offer? We've got Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, email marketing, content creation, copywriting, SEO, Instagram growth, web development, marketing automation. The list goes on. And I can tell you that inside of Educate, my e-learning platform, we have students killing it at every level with each of these services. I mean, just look at Amirali, who hit $16,000 last month. So now that you know what service to offer, you're ready for the next step in this process. Once you know what you're offering, you need to find out who you're gonna offer it to. Now, this step is super important, because when you get this right, you're gonna get clients 10 times as easy. The first thing you need to pay attention to when you pick a niche is pricing. Because ask yourself, is your potential client making at least $10,000 a month? The reason this is important is because if you were trying to work in a niche where businesses make on average less than $10,000 a month, realistically, they're not gonna be able to pay you your fee. For example, small restaurants, personal trainers, clothing stores, all of these are bad niches to work with because they don't make much money. So the math never really works in your favor. And as a rule of thumb, I recommend you stay away from any niche that has low ticket prices. That is anything below $100. In fact, when first starting out, I'd recommend you go for niches with products or services that sell for at the very least $1,000. And here's why. It is way easier to get 5 sales of a $5,000 product or service than 500 sales of a $50 product. Way easier. And there's thousands of businesses that charge these prices for their services, and they are not hard to find by any means. I mean, just think about it. We've got lawyers, we've got pool installation companies, we've got pest control, home renovation, custom furniture. We've got enterprise software companies. These businesses sell $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 packages every single day. And these are just some obvious examples. And this is exactly where most people make their big mistake. They go for the obvious niches. Now here's the thing, don't do what everyone else is trying to do. Everyone tries to go for e-commerce or real estate or clothing brands or chiropractors or dentists. Then their competition is enormous and they fail to succeed. It is a recipe for disaster, so instead go for some of these weird niches. Some of my most successful drop servicing clients that paid me the biggest commissions were in niches like amateur radios for preppers, power washers, software to host medical and scientific conferences during the pandemic, Montessori education programs for children. So try to be creative with this, think outside of the box. And here's how to do that in practice. Take the usual niches and think, who sells to these people? Take dentists, for example. Who sells them the equipment? What tools do they have to buy on an ongoing basis? And who sells them their dentist chairs? I mean, do you even know how much one of those chairs costs? Because they're super expensive, anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. Now imagine the number of dentists around the world that buy one of those chairs every single day. So if you're drop servicing a business like this for $5,000 a month and you get them 3 to 4 clients per month, they would be making an 8 to 16 times return on the amount they're paying you. And that's why I say that there's a lot of money to be made in these weird niches. Another example people like to go for is online businesses and info products. Now think, who sells to those businesses? Let's use Educate, my e-learning company, as an example. I pay dozens of thousands of dollars a month for email marketing tools, tracking tools, video hosting. You know how much it costs to host videos in the platform? I pay dozens of thousands of dollars a month in just high quality video hosting because I can't simply publish my program videos on YouTube. I need a specific software for that. Now, have you ever seen someone who specializes in helping video hosting platforms get more customers? Because I haven't. And the thing you have to understand here is that there's a lot of demand from businesses in these weird niches and no one there to fulfill on such demand. because everyone is so focused on the obvious niches. And the craziest thing is that a lot of these weird niche businesses have huge amounts of money to spend on online marketing services, money that they have already budgeted for 2024, meaning they need to spend this money. And a lot of them even struggle to spend this money because they can't find anyone out there to help them. It is literally a blue ocean hidden in plain sight. Now, this next step is where most people fall short, but not because it's particularly difficult, but because they don't stick to it for long enough. You see, once you have your service, you need to find clients. And at this point, you need to ask yourself, where do your future clients hang out? What is the best way to find them? Now, at Educate, we actually have weekly calls with industry-leading experts so that our students get to ask all of their questions, and we have an entire call dedicated to outreach. The premise is very simple though. You're gonna need to spend the majority of your time doing outreach, trying to set meetings where you actually sell to your future clients. And this is simply a numbers game. Whatever time you can dedicate per day to outreach, do it. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's 1 hour or 5, do it as much as you can, because the more you do, the greater your chance of success. Now, there are 5 main ways to do outreach: cold calling, cold email, video audits, LinkedIn, and finally, Instagram. And it really just depends on what you feel most comfortable with and what your personality type is best suited for. Listen, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just about what fits you the best. Now, I personally got started sending video audits, but we have students killing it with every method. Inside Educate, I will actually show you the exact framing that I used in my video audits. Listen, in a nutshell, you want to pitch the clients the meeting. You don't want to pitch your offer in the outreach. You just want to get them interested enough to take a meeting with you. That's it. Keep in mind, this is strictly a numbers game. So let's do some math. If you send out 500 messages, you're going to get 25 replies. And out of those 25, you're going to set 5 meetings. And out of those 5 meetings, you're going to close 1 to 3 clients. And each client is going to pay you between $2,000 to $5,000 a month. So that means that if you send 500 messages, you're going to be making anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000 per month. That's it. Now, in order to send 500 messages per month, you just need to send 16 messages per day. That is a pretty low bar to start making serious money. I mean, just think about it. How many messages do you send to your friends per day? Probably a lot more than 16. So if you just trade a few of those hours you spend on your phone already, you can easily send 16 messages per day. And what makes this so much easier is the fact that outreach messages don't have to be long and complicated. In fact, the best forms of outreach are super concise and to the point. So you don't need to spend hours on end writing paragraphs. And you definitely don't need to waste time on proposals like I did. Keep it short and sweet. And the best part is, down the line, I'm even gonna show you how to automate this process to literally start printing money on demand. Once you do get some clients, you're really gonna begin to see the beauty of drop servicing, because after putting in the work to get a client, they don't just pay you once, they keep paying you every single month. And that is because they will continue to need your services. On the low end, you're gonna sign clients on a 3-month retainer. So if you sign a client for $3,000, that means that that client is actually worth $9,000 to you on the low end. Now, when I had my agency, we had clients stay anywhere from 9 to 12 months on average. So it's not like you have to start from scratch every single month. Instead, you increase your baseline every month. And that means that the clients begin to compound very quickly. The key is to not be afraid to charge that amount. You need to realize that even the smallest of businesses spend tens of thousands of dollars per month on employees and rent. So an extra few $1,000s on something they know will make them money doesn't really matter to them. But one question still remains. How do you actually close the clients once you get a meeting with them? Now, in the last episode, I told you I would reveal the secret that allowed me to start closing clients left, right, and center. So here it is. I already told you that when I started, I had no one to guide me. So I came about the secret sales script through a lot of trial and error. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I've pretty much tried and tested every method of closing. And eventually, after months, I found one very specific sequence that allowed me to start signing clients on demand. It came down to a specific set of words that elicit exactly the right emotions when paired with the right questions. But the premise is very simple. You want to do one thing and one thing only on a sales call. Identify the prospect's problem and guide them towards a solution, and the solution being your service. That is all you have to do. Truthfully, sometimes your service simply won't be the best solution for them. And that's fine. You see, sales is just as much about knowing when not to sell as it is the opposite. And later in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can get access to this script that I developed. Now, the final step you need in order to start making money is to actually find the service provider to make the drop servicing equation work. And once you figure this part out, you're already halfway to making your first $10,000 online. So, how do you find a service provider to work with you? It's simple. You find them online. You look to places like LinkedIn, Upwork, or other business-related and job listing social platforms. But by far my favorite place to find them is on Facebook groups. You can find Facebook groups closely related to the topic of your service, like Facebook ad buyers or SEO ninjas. And these places are filled with fantastic potential service providers. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. The best types of groups with the highest quality contractors available are the closed communities for courses and softwares that teach what you offer as a service. So, groups for paid programs that teach Facebook ads or SEO or whatever your service is, those are great places. And usually, you can get your job listing posted in those groups by contacting the admins because it's in their best interest to offer job opportunities to their students and customers. And that is how you take advantage of drop servicing to get all of the service fulfillment taken care of by an experienced professional without you having to do any of the work yourself. So do you now see how literally anyone can do this? Anyone. Even guys like Binay, who's from Nepal and is already signing clients for his agency in his first few weeks with this business model. How awesome is it that this beginner-friendly business model is allowing people to make 5 figures a month from the comfort of their own home, even in third world countries? It's just nuts. Now, after working with literally 500 plus service providers, I've crafted the perfect process to find the best and the most inexpensive service providers with an exact step-by-step on where to find them and how to connect them with a client. And I'll show you more about that in a minute. Now, here's the thing you need to understand. The reality is that there's unprecedented demand for online marketing services since the attention economy has settled in. And there's simply not enough supply of people providing these services to meet the demand. I mean, just consider that there are only 14,000 marketing agencies in the US and over 33 million businesses. That means assuming only half of businesses need an agency, each agency would still have over 1,000 clients. Now, obviously that's not possible. So that gives you an idea of just how much demand there is for this. And out of those 33 million businesses that need your help, you just need 3 to 5 to make $10,000 a month. And this is all because of the new attention economy, which has commoditized people's focus. So if you ever wanted to be early for something big, this is it. Now is the time to take advantage of drop servicing so you don't even have to deliver the results yourself. And that's why I say this is the most beginner-friendly opportunity ever.
That'll be $42. This isn't real. Sir, that'll be $42. Sorry. I must be seeing things. Thank you.
Now, I know this all sounds super exciting, but a word of warning. If you try to do this alone, you will probably spend months initially figuring out how to make this work. And this could happen for reasons like you picked the wrong niche or service, you don't know what to look for in a contractor to drop service to work for you, or you might make a few specific mistakes in your outreach efforts that could get your response rate close to 0. But if you can solve these problems, the rewards are definitely worth it. Because the reality is there's unprecedented demand for online marketing services in this new economy created post-pandemic. And there is simply not enough people to fulfill such demand. So if you ever wanted to be early for something big, this is it. And now is the time to take advantage of this new booming online economy by using the most beginner-friendly system there is, drop servicing. And that takes us directly to the last step of our blueprint. Have a map. You see, whenever you go somewhere you haven't been before, you have to take a map with you. Now, back in the days, you used to take a physical map, but now we just take the map that's on our phones. But the point is that it's extremely important that we do have a map, because that's what's gonna show you the way. Otherwise, what's gonna happen if you don't have a map? You're gonna get lost. And maybe you still find the way by trying to follow some confusing signs and asking for directions from a bunch of random people along the way. But you're gonna struggle if you do it on your own. That is a guarantee. And as I said, you might not even get there. So that's why it's just so much easier to carry a map with you. Whenever you wanna go from point A to point B, whether that's in transportation or in business, you wanna have a map that shows you the way. That is the most guaranteed way to get to your final destination. So the question becomes, what is the map that shows you how you can get results like this using drop servicing? Well, everyone who is succeeding out there online right now, they all got their map from the same place, from Agency Navigator. That is the program that I created that gives you the map to go from $0 to $10,000 a month with your drop servicing agency in record time. Every single success story you've seen during this video has gone through this program, where we take complete beginners with no previous experience in marketing or business, and we help you create your own drop servicing agency from scratch, finding contractors to deliver the services for you, and show you our plug-and-play process to get clients on demand who pay $1,500 a month all the way to $10,000 a month. Because when you do it with the help from experts who have walked the path that you want to walk, not only does it go faster, but it actually ends up being cheaper long-term. Listen, as I said, trying to go get to $10,000 a month online without a map is still a viable option. And if you feel like it's the best thing for you, please go for it. However, know that you will most likely lose some valuable months, or maybe even years, trying to figure out everything on your own. And as I said, long-term, it's probably gonna be more expensive, considering that you miss out on all the extra money you could have made if you started out the right way from the get-go. Finally, your chances of quitting just goes way up if you get stuck and you don't have support. So, if you're interested in getting access to this map, let's look what's inside of Agency Navigator. Now, Agency Navigator is composed of over 40 hours of step-by-step training covering every aspect of building a drop servicing agency from scratch. It is an entire plug-and-play, I hold your hand system. We cover in excruciating detail the whole process of finding leads, reaching out to them, selling, signing clients, getting paid, onboarding clients, hiring a contractor through arbitrage, running Facebook ads, and more. This program has everything covered for you. The program is broken down into 3 simple cycles. The first cycle is the setup cycle, and it's broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1, fundamentals. Here, you basically learn how to set everything up. That is, how to choose a service to offer and how to choose a niche. Again, what I showed you here was a 10-minute summary of a phase that has over 3 hours inside of it. Now, the next phase is mindset. Have you ever wondered what's the difference between the people who scale to 6 figures from the ones who never seem to make it? Well, here you'll find out. In this phase, I'll show you how to unfuck your mind and what mindsets you need to adopt in order to succeed in this game, how to prepare yourself mentally and how to structure your days, and all of the mindset stuff that's just as important that no one else talks about. Finally, in the systems and processes phase, we'll set up all of the structure you need in order to start signing clients and getting paid. That is, client onboarding, how to get paid, how to properly price your services based on your niche, etc. And with such systems and processes in place, the sky will be the limit for your agency. Inside our program, we have people like Johnny who just broke $100,000 a month with his agency by streamlining his processes. And once that's done, you will have completed the first cycle. Then we get into our second cycle, reaching out. Now this cycle is broken down into 2 phases. The first is finding leads and setting meetings. Now, after going through this phase, you will have no trouble with setting meetings with potential clients. We cover the best strategies for cold email, cold calling, Instagram outreach, LinkedIn, and Upwork, showing you what's actually working right now. Now, phase 5 is sales, and this is simply the most important factor for running any business. Here, you're gonna learn how to close clients for $1,500 up to $10,000 a month in marketing services. And you're gonna see real life examples of me closing clients for my own agency. Plus, you're gonna get access to the exact same sales script that I use, which has generated me over $4 million in agency sales. And with such training comes results like Ricardo's, who went from $10,000 a month to $14,000 a week in closes, and even stopped counting after he surpassed $40,000 for the month. And then, finally, we move to our third and last cycle, drop service. And here's where you're gonna learn how to take advantage of the legal loophole of drop servicing in order to get all of the services delivered for you by someone else at zero risk without ever having to pay anything out of pocket. And we also have an entire phase on service delivery in case you wanna use Agency Navigator to train someone to deliver the service for you. And this phase was created by my own performance marketing team to take anyone from scratch to grandmaster at delivering marketing services for your clients. And this includes Facebook ads, funnels, copywriting, ad creatives, tracking, lead gen, e-commerce, local businesses, and much, much more. And if you follow this step by step in this phase, you'll soon be like Jamila, who's getting new closes for her agency passively while being out having drinks with friends. Now, for this program to be a real plug and play system, we needed to go the extra mile. And that's why we have decided to provide you with ready-to-use templates for the most important and daunting tasks of setting up your agency. Now, this includes over 25 plus professionally designed website templates for your agency, template contracts and agreements that you can use with clients, my ultimate sales script that I have refined for years and is responsible for generating more than $4 million in revenue for my agency, high-performing ad examples from over 15 different niches to model for your clients, and a client onboarding template. This is a plug-and-play system that you send to newly signed clients so that you provide them the best experience and get all of the information and access you need to start working with them without having to move a finger or send any messages. And the best part is that your current situation has zero impact on your chances of success with this business model. You see, the majority of people who join Agency Navigator start out from step zero. And we even have people like Elazar, who went from not being able to afford rent and getting evicted from his apartment in Portland to building a $20,000 a month results-driven agency and having his own studio in a beautiful city in a matter of 1 year's time, all at the age of 19 years old. This is the map to make $10,000 a month with drop servicing. Now, there's a few elements that people overlook which are extremely important to getting to $10,000 a month online. Community is one of them. Research after research shows that the main driver for positive student results in any program is not the content itself. Now, the content is an essential part of the learning experience, but not the main driver of success. What actually dictates the success of a program is how engaged the student community is. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you have a 10 out of 10 program if you don't have an awesome community that holds its members together. And that is why we decided to create our own exclusive private mastermind community inside of our custom platform. This is the perfect place to meet and network with fellow agency owners, to get your questions answered and find accountability partners, see sales debriefs from other agencies, and celebrate your wins. Now, a lot of our students consider the community more valuable than the course itself. Just like Igor, who signed his first client at $2,000 a month and 20% performance fee and said, quoting him, "This is the strongest and most inspiring community on the internet, and I cannot put into words how much I appreciate you guys." Plus, every month, the best students who are closing clients consistently get added to a more exclusive group where they receive extra coaching directly from our top team members to keep the momentum going. Now, students also love to post whenever they sign a new client, and we have a tradition of photoshopping yourself catching a fish whenever this happens. Now, this is a reference to the client tier system we have at Educate. The first tier is a fish, a client who pays anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 per month. You get a couple of these clients and you're already making a full-time income. And we got students catching fish every day. Here's Marquez catching 5 fish. His post is also a good reminder that there's no such thing as not succeeding with this business model. It took him longer than usual to catch his first fish. You know, our students take 90 days on average, but once he did catch his first one, he managed to catch 5 in a 1-week period. You just gotta keep pushing and inevitably your time will come. Now, the second tier is a shark. This is a client who pays anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 a month. And this is where you're getting into more serious territory. One of these clients and you can quit your job. It's always a proud day when students sign their first shark. You can see Alex here, who just caught a $4,000 a month shark. And also me here riding a shark in one of my own sales debriefs. And the third and most prestigious tier, a whale. That is a client who pays $8,000 per month. This one client alone will bring you more than $100,000 a year. This is the greatest catch of all, and they are the North Star for everyone in our community. You can see a deal here posting right next to multiple whales. He's making $42,000 a month just with his base fee that he charges clients. And this isn't including performance fee, which is a common practice between our students as well. His next aim is to reach $100,000 a month. Now, you know what the main reason is people fail with online programs? The reason is that they go through it and inevitably end up having a lot of questions along the way, but have no expert advice to answer those questions. So, they get stuck and end up getting frustrated and giving up. It is what I call the failure cycle. Because even with a map, you can still get lost sometimes. Having someone who can give you directions when you need them is literally the difference between getting to where you want to get to and never actually getting there. And with that in mind, we created a weekly live coaching call with industry experts, so that way you can ask whatever you want and get your questions answered by specialists in the field. A bit of well-placed advice can help you get unstuck, especially from professionals who are dealing with drop servicing clients and practicing their marketing skills on a daily basis. So let's review everything you need to get to $10,000 a month online in 2024. First, you need to be aware of the 3 biggest mistakes that beginners make. Second, you need to evaluate your options and consider the market you're in. Third, you need a step-by-step plan on how to execute. Fourth, you need to make sure that this plan allows you to make mistakes without bankrupting yourself, and that's why we pick a focus-intensive opportunity and not a cash-intensive one. Fifth, you need a map to guide you on your way to your desired destination. And last but not least, you need the right support systems in place to ensure your success. You need the right knowledge, the right coach to guide you, and a community to support you. Now, all of these things may seem small, but make a massive difference in making sure you actually see success. Now, so far, I've shown you the 3 mistakes, and we've evaluated the options and the market, and I have given you the proven plan. So, right now, the only thing that you are missing is the map, the community, and the coaching. And that is exactly what you get inside of Agency Navigator. You see, when you join Agency Navigator today, you get full access to the Agency Navigator program, which is your map to go from $0 to $10,000 a month with drop servicing. And with it, you get the website templates, the funnels, the ads, the template contracts, the agreements, the battle-tested sales scripts, and more. And you get access to the exclusive private mastermind community. You also get access to 15 weekly live coaching calls with industry experts. I have been teaching people how to make $10,000 a month online for a while now. And I've really noticed that most people fail in one of 2 steps. Either outreach or sales. That is, either the message they send to reach out to potential clients is not good enough to actually elicit responses, or they struggle signing the client once they get on a call with them. So I thought, how can I help students fix these problems? Well, inside of Educate, we have a few other programs other than Agency Navigator, and most of them have been recorded by the C-level executives that work alongside me in Educate. Paul Daly, who's our sales manager, and Luis Berger, our CMO. You see, inside of Educate, Paul has a program called 6-Figure Sales Rep that teaches the exact same selling system we use for my internal team inside Educate and all of my portfolio companies. And Luis has a program called Pen to Profit, which teaches how to write words that make people take action, using the exact same copywriting structures Luis used in some of the biggest campaigns that the internet has ever seen. So, here's the deal. Agency Navigator usually sells for $1,500. And this isn't one of those fake internet marketing inflated prices. You can check the sales page for it. We've had thousands of students join at this price point. But what I'm gonna do for you today is this. Today, you're gonna get access to Agency Navigator, all of the templates that come with it, the student community, and the coaching calls. But on top of that, I'm also gonna give you Pen to Profit by Luis, my CMO, and 6-Figure Sales Rep by Paul Daly, so that way you never have problems with sales or outreach messages ever again. Now, the total value for this package will be $4,500 US. But today, I'm gonna give you these 2 extra programs as a free bonus. So today, to get access to Agency Navigator, 6-Figure Sales Rep, and Pen to Profit would cost you the regular price of $1,500. I'm not gonna charge you an extra penny on top for those 2 extra programs that cost $1,500 each. Now, here's the thing. I have decided that I wanna give the most people possible the chance of succeeding in 2024. And I know that if I don't do this now, in 1 or 2 months, it might already be too late for you to turn the year around. In fact, I guarantee it will be too late. So that is why I've decided to throw in an extra $500 discount on top of the initial $1,500 discounted price. So today, you're gonna get this entire plug and play system, this map, this support, this guidance, this coaching, this mentoring, everything for only $997. Now, obviously I can't keep this promotion open forever. And I don't know the exact date, but I'm gonna take it down very, very soon. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, but one thing I can assure you, this offer will not be up for more than 7 days. And after that, Agency Navigator goes back to its normal price, and you will not get the 2 extra free bonuses either. So that means if you wanna buy this again, you won't be paying $997, you will be paying $4,500. So the time is now. But here's another catch. Remember the system I mentioned a few minutes ago that I have crafted to find the best and most inexpensive service providers to drop service for you? Well, I've just finished recording a masterclass going through and breaking down this system in excruciating detail for my $50,000 a year mastermind students. I actually created this training for them specifically, but I know that this would also be super valuable for anyone who's just getting started with drop servicing. So here's what I'm gonna do. For the first 1,000 people who join Agency Navigator, I'm gonna give you complimentary access to this unreleased drop servicing masterclass. Now this is gonna work on a first come, first served basis. So as of this moment, the enrollments are officially open. You can save your spot by clicking the link in the description. And for those watching the live premiere, it'll also drop in the live chat in 3, 2, 1 now. Now, when you click the link, you're gonna get redirected to the sales page where you can see all of the details of the program. We also have a full team of people ready to help you live in case you have any question. The offer is now officially live again. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna keep this open for. If the price on the link in the description of this video is still $997 when you click on it, it means that this promotion is still active. So make sure you go ahead and secure your spot with the extra bonuses before it expires. And remember, right now, at this exact moment, we are living the best moment in history to start your online drop servicing operation. There was never before such a huge demand from businesses for this type of service. And this means that the more you wait, the more you're losing out on 4-figure monthly commissions that could be getting paid today by your clients. And by the way, businesses have already included these services in their marketing budget for 2024. This means that they are gonna spend the money either way. So if you're not the one getting paid the 4-figure monthly commissions, they're simply gonna be paid to someone else who has decided to take action instead. So you can either be the one taking action yourself and getting what's yours, or you can be the one sitting back and watching others succeed. The choice is yours. If you want to learn how to make $10,000 a month online from scratch, click the button below this video and get access to Agency Navigator now. Now, in case you have any questions that were not answered in this video, or you want to use a different payment method that is not available at our checkout, you can go ahead and book in a call with our student success team, and they will personally help you with your situation. Or you can simply send us a message on WhatsApp using the button on the next page. That will be all for today. I'm so excited for you to make 2024 the year that things finally change, that you finally get everything that you deserve in life. Time is up. It is time to finally take care of your family, finally live the life of freedom that you have always promised yourself. 2024 is here. As always, I'm rooting for you, and for those who decide to join Agency Navigator, I will also be directly in your corner, holding your hand every step of the process to making $10,000 a month online in 2024. And on that note, I will see you inside of Agency Navigator.